Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. My name is Whitney and today I will be showing you how I achieved this look with my hair using products from 6 different Bahamian-owned brands. So let's get into it. So Lexx Brown is my barber, and I've been getting my hair cut by Lexx for nearly a year now, and the reason I've continued to go to him to get my hair cut is that he always understands and delivers on my requests, and we always have a good chat. If you're curious, the type of haircut that I have is called a tapered fade. So the hair closest to my face is the longest on my entire head. What I love about having this hairstyle is that it's low maintenance, it frames my face, and it really suits my personality and how I want to present myself. So in preparation for my appointment, I did a co-wash and I came with no product in my hair. Well, maybe I had leave-in, but typically I don't have any product in my hair. I normally get my hair cut once a month, and when it comes to maintenance, like if I want to do any shaping up or trimming, I do that on my own at home. You will be able to find the information about all businesses mentioned in my description box down below. Hey, so now I'm going to show you what a typical wash day looks like for me. I usually just start off by letting the warm water run on my hair and saturate it before I get started with shampooing. And typically I'll just run my fingers through my hair to remove any loose or shed hair. So the shampoo I'll be using today is the Fresh Start shampoo by Eleutheran Beauty. It smells pretty good actually. What I like about this shampoo is that it really gave me a good clean without making my hair feel stripped. So when it comes to washing my hair, I usually wash it twice in a session, focusing a lot on my scalp before I rinse all of the shampoo out. Next, I start my round 2 of shampooing, and again I'm focusing most of my attention on my scalp, and that includes the hair at the back and sides of my head. And yeah, cute girl. Usually I really take the time to focus in on removing any product, hair, and posing for the camera. The lather on this shampoo was fantastic, and see, it's even able to make a beard. But yeah, my hair felt fantastic after washing. It didn't feel plasticky or stripped of moisture. And oh, side note, when washing my hair, I focus on using the pads of my fingertips as opposed to my fingernails to do a gentle but thorough cleaning without actually damaging my scalp. And when it comes to cleaning the actual hair, I smooth my hands one after the other to make sure I smooth each strand of hair. And I do that in the direction of my hair shaft. So then I'm sure to rinse all the shampoo out before I get into the conditioner, which is the Reconstructive conditioner by Eleutheran Beauty. This conditioner smelled good too. And what I liked about it was that I was able to detangle my hair super easily with it on. And I didn't even have it resting on my hair for that long either, so that was a plus too. So I like to smooth that all on my hair, making sure I get every little bit of hair, including the minuscule hairs in the backs and side of my head. And I try not to get too much of the conditioner on my scalp, but I do like to get down to the root of my hair just to make sure that part of my hair is not ignored. And you could already see it working, my curls popping. So once the conditioner is in my hair, I use this time to take a shower, just to get rid of any hair that may be attached to my body, and do a little jig, because y'all don't need to see me bathe. And then I wash my face too, because sometimes the hair gets trapped underneath my mask. And don't forget the ears, because hair gets in my ears too. So I take my plastic wide tooth comb and I use that to detangle my hair in the shower. And I really don't have a method. And the combing is pretty easily done, especially because of the length of my hair. But with this conditioner, the comb actually pretty much glided right through. And I do tend to focus on the roots, because that's the part of my hair that can get tangled the most easy. And now I comb backwards, and then I comb forwards. And then I comb to the side. I'm really trying to get all the hair, yes. I'm trying to get all of the hair combed out as best as possible. And then I do a little bit of finger detangling just to really pull out any shed hair, really. And after that, I rinse out all of the conditioner. All done. Hey. So now that I finished washing and conditioning my hair, now it's time to dry and style. So on my head I have a microfiber towel which I press down to absorb any unwanted water, because I'm going to replace it with water that I do want. So I have purified water in my misting bottle, and I mist my head until I am satisfied. And now we're going to start with the leave-in, and today I'll be using the Detangler by JM Beauty Haircare. I like how it smells. What I love about leave-in conditioners, well, any styling product for that matter, with this consistency, I like that it never leaves a cast on my hair, because cream-based styling products on my hair leaves a cast and doesn't seem to absorb well into my hair. But products like this that kind of have a transparent look to it, they absorb right in. So after leave-in, I have the Candy Curls Gel by Happy Hair. And this is a soft hold gel, and typically what I do after applying leave-in is I'll apply the soft hold gel to my hair just to kind of get started with the defining process. So really at this stage, I'm not focused on styling as much as I'm focused on making sure that the product gets all over my hair. Again, I like to reactivate the product by applying some water. Smoothing it in to combine the leave-in with the gel that I applied. And I try not to get much of the product on my scalp. That's not the goal. I like to make sure that most of the product is focused on my ends, even though I don't like to ignore my roots, because that's part of what helps me to get the look that I want, is getting product on the roots. So next we have Bounce by Simply Natural, This is a curl defining gel that's flaxseed based. Now, it suggests that it's a medium to firm hold gel, but I was kind of surprised to see how lightweight it was, and I was curious to see how much of a hold I would be able to get from such a lightweight gel. And normally I don't apply my firm hold gel at this stage, but since it was in my hands and I didn't want to, toss it, I just said, meh. So I just smoothed it on my hair. So now I take my rat tail comb and I part a section about 1/2 inch thick at the front of my hair, which is where I normally start when I'm doing styling. And I use a clip to clip the hair that I don't want to mess with to the back. And then, bounce, yes. So I take some more of the bounce hair gel. And now I'm going to apply that to that front section, making sure to smooth it in so that every bit of hair has some of the gel on it. There's not much of a scent either, but again, I'm focusing more on my ends, but ensuring that my roots get attention as well, but not too much. And then I use my multi-row comb to actually help me start the defining process. I find that the combs with multiple teeth achieve more of a clumping effect, which I like. So I take a small little section and I twirl it around my finger like so. So what you see me doing is separating my hair, selecting a size that's about the same width as the size of my own natural coils, and I twirl that section around my finger and pull and then release. I'm not using a crazy amount of tension here, just enough so that the hair that I want to be in the coil is the only hair that's in the coil and that I get the defined look that I want. So I continue with this method for pretty much most of my hair. So after that, I remove the clips and move on to my second row, using the same method, making the part, clipping my hair back and then applying gel to the sectioned off piece, smoothing in the hair gel to make sure every bit of hair gets gel on it, using a comb to detangle as well as to help start the clumping process. And when it comes to each row that follows, I try to make sure that when I'm combing, I'm not actually disrupting the coils that have already been made. So as you can see, I pull my hair using a bit of tension, twirling it around my finger and moving in a downward motion until I'm done. Typically, it only takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to do my hair, but doing a demonstration, and you can really see the definition here, it was taking me a little bit longer than usual, but I moved pretty quickly. So now that I'm moving to the top of my head and my hair is starting to get even more short, it's going to require a little bit of a different approach. So as you can see, I have to be a little bit more careful with clipping and making sure my hair is sectioned off the way that I want it to be. And because the hair at the top of my head is a bit more thick than the hair at the front of my head, and also there's more hair in this section, I'll be using 2 pumps of hair gel. And let me just move this cup out of the way. So I smooth that onto the section. Again, being careful not to disturb the coils that are setting at the front of my head. Do a little dance. So now you can get an even better view of how the coiling process works for me. So I section and twirl, pull, release. So now that I'm moving to more of the back of my head, I'm going to spray it with water to saturate it because it kind of dried out as the styling process went on. And now I'm going to apply more bounce gel and rub that into that section of hair. I don't bother with clips at this stage, not only because my hair is so short at this stage, but I have no use for it with the method that I use. So again, working the product in, taking my comb and then using it to comb through that back section. Again, being careful not to disturb the coils that are at the front of my head. Now, even though when I'm doing the actual finger coils, which are in the direction, like I guide them so that they are forward facing, I typically like to comb backwards just because it's a lot easier to avoid disturbing those coils at the front. And it's also easier for me to comb. So you can see what I do is I don't use a mirror. I just pretty much feel my hair to see what area needs to be coiled that hasn't been. And I try to use appropriate sections as well. So you can see here again, another close-up. Twirl, twirl, release. So the products are quite moisturizing, and again, I love that there's no white cast and all of the products are interacting so well together. My hair didn't feel hard. My hair felt fantastic. Typically, when I'm doing my hair, I listen to music or I watch YouTube. So now I'm going to spray the sides and back of my hair with water, and the sides I'm spraying are the very short sides that are too short for me to twirl, but there's still hair there. So I'm going to apply some of the Bounce hair gel by rubbing it in and then smoothing it onto those sections of hair that I just wet. So the method I use is pretty much just using a circular motion with my hands to encourage my hair to coil in the direction that I want it to go. Sometimes this works and then sometimes it doesn't. It really just depends, but I just pretty much work on it until I like the way that it looks. And if there's any hair that needs, adjusting and coiling, I do so. So now I'm going to be brushing down the sides and back of my hair to help not only create more of a smooth look, but I've seen people do it, so I do it too. And I use a paper towel to absorb any excess water, product, and sometimes sweat depending on how hot or tired I am. And I do like to dry my temples and the front of my head because that's where I'll be applying my edge control. And here I have the Refined Edges Edge Control by Beauty by Bekuh. So what I'm going to do is apply that small amount onto my temple, making sure to smooth it in while pressing a little bit just to guide my hair in the direction I want it to go in. Taking the same amount, I move on to the next temple. Then I move on to applying the edge control to the front of my hair. So I'm just laying it on the baby hairs, not so much the hair that's been coiled. So any of the fine hairs that are at the front of my head. Now I'm going to take my edge brush using the comb side, and I'm going to comb through just to start smoothing and separating my hair a little bit and making sure there's not too much product. And what I'm going to do is now swoop it in a C motion from front to back, and I do that in 2 layers. And this particular way of doing it was inspired by the way that the 90s finger waves looked. I really like how that looks, and I'm glad that I figured out a way to achieve that with my hair texture and hair length. Honestly, when it comes to styling my edges, it's pretty much trial and error, just practicing, trying different products out, seeing what shapes and looks frame my face. And this style really works with me in regards to not only my hair texture but also the density of my hair, especially the hair at my temples. And I was really pleased with how this edge control worked. It was very easy to use. Again, moving the comb from front to back in a C motion and doing that in 2 rows. It's pretty much just styling until I'm satisfied, which can go on for a very long time. Like, I know there's at one point I'm gonna have to stop, but yeah, I can do this for a while before I'm content. So now that the edges have been styled, it's time to wrap and set my edges by using a satin scarf, which I tie firmly but gently around my head. Not too tight to give me a headache or anything, but tight enough so that the edges lay flat. So now I'm going to let that sit for 5 minutes. Actually, it was more like an hour because I took a nap and then, you know, I did my makeup. But now I'm going to gently remove the satin scarf by pulling in a forward and downward motion, kind of rolling it, not to disrupt the, you know, the hard work that I put in. And most of the time, if I have any water there or sweat or anything like that, I go in with a paper towel just to absorb anything. And you can see the the demarcation of where my scarf was. I like to cover that up either with makeup or not, depending. But in this case, I do. And as you can see, I'm trying to open the bottle of Kurlee Tropical Oils Blend by Belle. Got it. So I use the oil just to add a little bit of shine and to seal in the moisture of my hair. And I don't use a lot, pretty much like a dime-sized amount, maybe you could say a 1/4 teaspoon. And there it is. You can see it properly now. And it smells very nice. So I rub my palms together and I pat the oil into my hair, because the last thing I want is to, like, you know, mess up my efforts. So I pat the hair that's been coiled, and then I smooth it on the edge of the sides of my hair that's shaved. I don't bother with the edges that have been styled, because, you know, those are set. So I'm pretty much just patting and kind of picking out my hair so that any coils that got smushed get pulled back out. And I go in and check to see if any coils need to be retwisted. You can see that it's quite a lot of oil even with that little bit, so I'm careful not to go too crazy with it, patting and then pulling out the hair. And there you have it, the final look. I love the way that my hair turned out. I was so pleased that all of the hair products worked so beautifully together. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!